My name is Gord Hill from the Kwakwaka'wakw Nation on the Northwest Coast, and I have been involved in the anti-Olympic movement for a couple years now. Just in regards to the recruitment discussion, I'll just make a couple comments. There are some different programs that are targeting Aboriginal youth. One of them is called Bold Eagle, and another it's mostly focused on the prairies, and there's another one, it's out of Victoria. It's called Raven. And they also have Aboriginal entry programs to once Aboriginal youth go through these training things. They're in the summer. They're about 6 or 8 weeks, and they include a cultural component for about 2 weeks prior to the actual military training, where they bring in elders and cultural advisors, collaborators with the government to indoctrinate the youth into accepting the military culture of the Canadian forces. Some of the statistics I saw was that they estimate about 1.5% of the population of the military are Aboriginal, and they want to make it at least 3% of soldiers are Aboriginal. We started organizing against some of their Aboriginal recruitment stuff a few years ago. So one thing they started doing was showing up at the June 21st, which is the Aboriginal Solidarity Day events, like where they have powwows and presentations and stuff. And then we noticed a really strong presence from the Canadian forces. So we started organizing against them because the Canadian forces would come in and they would donate all the infrastructure that was needed for these big public events, like all the tents, tables, chairs, and food and stuff like that. And they'd bring in their armored personnel carriers and park them in there, and that was how they were trying to recruit people. So we organized against one of the committees here that was working with the military, and we kind of got them to really minimize the presence of the soldiers at the events. So that was pretty good. But anyway, I'll talk about the Olympics. So as you know, the 2010 Winter Games will be occurring here in Vancouver from February 12th to the 27th of 2010, which is next year. We've been organizing against the Olympics since about 2007. Although there were other groups and people who started organizing against it during the bid process in 2000 and 2001. To begin with, it's being described as one of the largest security operations in Canadian history. As you may know, it has a budget of about $1 billion. And it's probably going to go over that. That's just the official estimate that they've been providing to us. Probably in the last few months they've come out with that budget. The RCMP is in charge of overall security, and they've established the Vancouver Integrated Security Unit, which is to coordinate all the security forces, which includes the Canadian military, different police agencies including the Vancouver Police, the West Vancouver Police, Coast Guard, and other emergency services. They're also coordinating with NORAD, which is the North American Air Defense Command, and with the U.S. Air Force. One of the things that you might have heard about is the U.S. Air Force is now deploying Predator drones along the border. They're starting in Manitoba, I think it is. They're going to have a series of these Predator drones patrolling the border, and by 2010 they want to have, I think, 2 or 3 that are kind of stationed out of Washington and that are going to be doing the border patrol thing here in conjunction with the Olympics. The Canadian forces have set up a Joint Task Force Games, which is how they're coordinating all their military personnel that they're going to deploy. They are going to have about, I think it's about 5,000 or 6,000 soldiers will be deployed, along with a similar number of police. Within the military, they've set up the Joint Task Force Games. So you have this very high level of military deployment. It's really a demonstration of state power in a sense, which a lot of these Olympics and these kind of mass spectacles are in a way, corporate and state power. with the within the military, there's going to be the Joint Task Force 2, which is the Special Anti-Terrorist Unit of Canada, and the Special Operations Regiment, which is a newer unit that Canada has developed. Because, as you may know, one of the things that the Canadian military is transforming into is this high-tech counterinsurgency type of force, and these kind of regiments, these units, are an integral part of it. So we expect to see these units here deployed along the Sea to Sky Highway, which is about 129 kilometers. They're going to be establishing about I don't know, half a dozen camps for the military, because they want to secure that highway, which they see as being very vulnerable to protests, to any kind of disruptive act.